All right, got some sad news coming up that we're going to be discussing. So, the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh, Takahashi Kazuki, passed away at the age of 60. It was a snorkeling incident that happened in which he passed away. Um, Yu-Gi-Oh was a big thing kind of in my childhood. It was kind of the first maybe big nerdy thing I got into when I was a kid. Was playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I collected the cards. I had a deck, all that different stuff like that. And yeah, so it did have a very much kind of big impact on my childhood. It was kind of maybe kind of how I got more gateway into other kind of geeky stuff like anime and other kind of shows like that. But I remember watching it. WB Kids, it was on. Used to watch it. In the mornings. Yeah, I have that kind of connection to it. So it was just such a surprising news that just came out of nowhere about his passing. Um, and just he just was his body was discovered 1,000 feet offshore at about 10:30 a.m. local time.
So
And just
do they know what happened? Like what went wrong? I mean, he was
um,
snorkeling.
Yeah, I think they say it was just like an accident when he was like snorkeling. I don't think the exact specifics of it are out there, but I think that's as far as much as I see right there. What
But
do you
you're not
guys
supposed to go
connect?
snorkeling by yourself.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So what
Because
do you
that's like you
guys?
were saying. He was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good.
Like, I remember Saturday mornings. It was the Batman. It was Yu-Gi. That was my Saturday morning when I was a kid growing up. I bought the cards. I collected. I got decks. I think still lying around my parents' house.
Fucking
Oh,
nerd.
it's really sad. He
You had the
was.
decks on. Fucking nerd. Fucking nerd.
Oh no!
Jesus.
Oh no!
Yeah, but he was basically my gateway into other nerd stuff. Like, he was my gateway into stuff like video games, stuff like other American comics, even other anime that I watched when I was younger. Uh, Kazuki Takahashi was the gateway,
Mm.
and the fact that he still contributed to Yu-Gi-Oh long after the show, long after the manga and the show, spun off, created a whole bunch of different other series like GX, like 5Ds, like Zeal, everything else that came after. He contributed art to all of the cards long after the show ended.
Mm. Yeah. Uh, did you read the manga or no?
I read a little bit of the manga, yeah,
Hmm.
but I haven't picked it up in a long time.
Yeah. And it says Yu-Gi-Oh! This is from CNN right here. It says Guinness World Records has recognized Yu-Gi-Oh! As the world's best-selling trading card game with over 25 billion cards sold around the world as of 2011.
Sounds about
Ha!
right.
Suck it, Magic.
Yeah.
Eh. Wizards of the Coast are pretty pissed.
Yeah.
They're
And
probably the ones
the
that caused the snorkeling accident.
and the 100th Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship Series held on Long Beach, California in 2013 is also recognized as the largest trading card game tournament ever held. A total of 4,364 players known as duelists. Wow, could you imagine saying that? It's like, I'm a duelist. You know what I mean? I'm not just like a casually. I'm a duelist. Battled against one another at the event, breaking the record previously held by Magic the Gathering tournament, which attracted over 2,227 players in Madrid, Spain in 2010. What are Magic the Gathering players called? What are they called when they play?
That's gatherings. They're
Fucking
just
nerds.
yeah, they're not really called anything specific. It's like what are they called? Star Wars nerds. Star Trek they're called Trekkies or Trekkers.
Mm,
Star Wars they're just I don't know Warsies, Warsers,
yeah. Starsies? Starsies?
Starsies maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Uh, yeah, Dusk, what's your kind of experience with Yu-Gi-Oh?
I kind of grew up around that aspect of the card game. Probably one of the first bigger games. It was like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Digimon, all that aspect of that. It was Toonami was first coming in. Even before that, even before Toonami, there was like you've seen offshoots of maybe like shows like Dragon Ball Z or Sailor Moon or some like the really obscure stuff. It wasn't until like really DBZ and Toonami they started really bringing it to the West that it was like a super niche thing. Or occasionally you see reruns of Speed Racer. Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, it was there early on in my life. I never quite got into it, but I did watch the anime and I did actually read the manga. It's way different from the anime. Holy crap! Way darker.
Really?
Way darker than the
Do you
anime.
remember?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
what kind of darker stuff happens in it?
So Yu-Gi-Oh! In Japanese means king of games, not necessarily king of card games. So people are more pieces of crap, and Yami Yugi, the alternate, the pharaoh that possesses Yugi, he's a king of games. So a lot of it has to do with like gambling, or he fights against people, or he uses games as a way of. And it's literally anything. It could be anything from, oh, we're gonna play. I'm gonna play you in a game since you're a bully at school and you're picking on me and picking on others. Uh, we're gonna have this ice like red hot table that you grill things on, and I'm gonna encase this vial full of explosive liquid in ice, and we're gonna smack it around. And if it whoever ends up is gonna explode in their face, and could potentially kill them. Or another event where a guy he's like a cameraman, but he's like abusing his position and doing like dirty photos or dirty, and uses this as blackmail. Where he's like, let's do a dice game. If you win, you just is like, if I win, you destroy the evidence. If I win, you get to keep it and keep doing what you're doing. And it's like using supernatural means that end up that he plays a game with somebody.
Oh,
It's not until later in the after the first arc that it starts being even close to what the anime is kind of like, where
so it's
it
kind
starts
of
focusing on dual monsters.
it was kind of Squid Games before Squid Games.
Yeah, it was basically he just took any game or anything and utilized it, and it wasn't until he focused solely on dual monsters later on. Also, the
Yeah,
Egyptian items were a lot more proficient in the early ones, and people legit died. There was no like, oh, in what some terms, no, people legit died.
Yami was essentially a serial killer in the original,
He was.
Manga.
Yeah, there was a guy who escaped from prison famously and held up a place, and he used a game. Okay, if you move one, if you can pick one finger, and you can only use one. And the guy has like a gun in his hand. He's like, well, I'm just gonna pick my trigger finger with my gun. He's like, well, I'm gonna pick my thumb to utilize it. And the guy's still pouring out alcohol as they're talking because he can't move. The rule is if you move or you don't use anything other than that, then you lose, and whatever. And ends up that Yami picked his thumb because then he could activate the lighter, leave it on top of his hand that's still pouring alcohol, and eventually he's going to have to move because now it's pouring all over him. And he's going to have to move at some point. And if he pulls the trigger, it'll move the thing, and the fire will consume him. And guess what? That's what happens, and the guy dies. And a lot of people see horrible things happen to them, and they just move on. Yeah, it doesn't really get. It's pretty dark compared to the anime, which pulled back on the murder death. Kaiba's also a complete sociopath in the manga. He's a lot crueler and evil in the original.
In the anime, he's basically just
a jerk.
Just Elon. He's just a douchebag that can't get over losing a card game one time.
Yep. Obsesses with them.
Actually, I
haven't seen dragons.
I haven't seen Yu-Gi-Oh in forever since I was a kid. It kind of makes me go back and rewatch Yu-Gi-Oh again because I haven't.
It's a fun romp. My favorite character was always Joey.
Mm-hmm.
He was always my favorite underdog character, and he also gets a little bit more respect in the anime, a little bit. In the manga, he also got some respect. He was also a bully for Yugi in the manga at first, and it wasn't until like Yugi stood up for him later that he realized he was being a dick, and he ends up getting the medallion pieces, and they become good friends later and become like for the rest of the series.
And speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh, one of like the first big things on series that came out like around the time of like Team 4-Star with Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that ended up being
Little
one of the bigger
Karibo
things. Yeah, which I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged is still ongoing.
It is. Actually, it just had its most recent episode last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, after like I think like months of hiatus, he just released an episode this week. So it's really sad coincidence that the creator died. But yeah, he just released another one just recently. Little Creepo released his own abridged. I mean, it's still going technically. Team 4-Star is still technically ongoing, even though they're not doing the Boo Saga, or they will. Who knows? They're just taking a break for a while.
Did you ever play Yu-Gi-Oh! Dusk?
I played it briefly. Still have some cards left over, some rare cards actually. I'm still holding on to because why not? Some of them from like the original first print too when it came to America, but I don't know. I haven't played that stuff in a while, and I've never been much of a card player. But I always thought the monsters designs were interesting, and it was interesting to watch the phenomena kind of spread.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was like a big thing that caught on. Like I remember trading the cards, playing it. I had a little deck, and I kept my cards, man. I kept them nice, man. But trading with other kids, I don't know what the fuck they were doing to their cards. They must have shoved it up their ass or something. I don't know. They must have. Like they would look like they were chewing on it.
On them.
Huh?
They didn't have the fucking card sleeves on them.
Yeah, you're supposed to have. You're supposed to have a nice put it in a case because if you keep it out for too long and oxygen's gonna get to it, it's gonna fuck up the cards and crease them and it's just man, you gotta take care of them. But I haven't played it. I don't even know how to play anymore. I haven't played since I was probably in seventh.
Oh, the game has changed so much; it wouldn't even be the same.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, it's completely changed as a game.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening now. All that shit. So, yeah. And also with Yu-Gi-Oh! Had that great theme. I'm playing it right now on stream.
Yeah.
That theme was a banger. That's for sure.
It's time.
Yeah. I think Nick. I think he'll like what I'm playing on stream if he looks at the video. I think he'll like it. Yeah. I love this video. This is my favorite video. Boy, I love it. Oh man, I love that video. That's that's funny. I love that video, man. If somebody is listening, it was the video where you have like I guess it's like a birthday party or something like that. I guess or some kid's birthday party, and you have Woody from Toy Story.
Yeah, it's like a kid's birthday party. They got Woody, and he's just like busting out. He's like. Dude, you got fucking served.
Yeah, like it's just he's serving up some fucking 8-year-old, fucking dance. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, that theme song is a fucking banger.
Yeah.
Poor kids occasionally got it right.
And even the spin-off shows like a GX and 5Ds, those still had their.
Oh.
They do still have their fans. They do still have their fans.
Yeah, GX is okay. 5Ds is.
5Ds is nuts.
There's
also series after that. There's also series past that as well, like VX or some crap or whatever. It kept on going. It got more anime as it went along and stopped. What's interesting about Yu-Gi-Oh is what started off as kind of being this weird mesh of like Egyptian mythology in a card game and like a pharaoh that possessed a guy just kept on going and then just said, screw all that. The money's where the card game is. Dude, just kept on pushing it.
and just like dudes blatantly cheating at this card game.
Oh my god, yeah. They actually it's always funny to watch the discrepancy on the anime and be like Team Stars had a good time where he brought out it was Yamayuki against Cell. And he's like, a duel to the death and a fight for Victor. Finally, someone who understands me, who understands what this is all about. The fight.
Now break out your cards.
He's like, I get your cards here. What? And then like throughout the entire deck, he's like, nope, that's banned, and that one's banned, and that man is banned. He's like, half your deck is banned. He's like, screw this, and he just leaves.
Yeah, that's been banned since 2003. Pot of Greed, 2006. Monster Reborn, 2010.
He's just like, to hell with this, and he just leaves.
I showed some footage a little bit of people playing in a tournament, Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament, them kind of doing that, which is okay.
There were the jackasses that sometimes come out with like 1,000 decks, like a literal 1,000 card deck. They're dirt. There are some.
There's like a joke on Yu-Gi-Oh! GX about this guy that literally has like a cowboy's holster full of like 8 different decks, and he just like rips his fucking jacket open and reveals them.
Yeah.
Did you all have the what do you call it, the thing where you put the cards into, like
the
on
dual
the
disc?
Yeah, did you have
the
that?
dual disc?
Yeah.
I may or may not have gotten.
It's so useless because it'll never hold on.
Yeah,
It'll never do whatever. I could be like, unless there's like tiny magnets on the cards, you're never gonna.
You can't fit the fucking cards with the like protectors in the disc.
Yeah. No, man, but it's sad. Honestly, it's really sad to hear that, especially if something like snorkeling. Snorkeling is usually not that dangerous.
Yeah.
It's you don't need oxygen tanks for that. I don't know what could have happened. I don't know if you got hit by an undertow or something. You didn't realize it. It's really a shame, man.
The CNN article I was looking at, they were saying that the investigation is still ongoing, so they're still trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah, man. I hope, but it's my heart goes out to all the fans and the people who remember it, and I hope whoever is extended family and whoever, I wish my condolences. And man, yeah, we lost a Mangekyo legend. Even if you may not like where it kind of spin off from, or what's happened to the series, or what it's done for manga or other stuff, you gotta respect the guy for the hustle.
Also,
how much he's made of his franchise.
Also, he basically did the most ambitious cross with Bonds Beyond Time, where you had all 3 Yu-Gi-Oh protagonists in the same movie.
Yeah, and it didn't.
He did it. Kazuki Takahashi did it first, bitch.
He did, and it didn't actually suck. Apparently, it was just it was pretty okay.
In the fucking newest one that they made a couple years ago, where it brought back Yugi, that was a legitimately good movie.
Yeah.
Eh.
Hey, Dark Side of Dimensions fucking rips.
Too much Kaiba.
Literally travels to another dimension.
He literally does just to fight Yugi as he's disappearing from existence. He can't let go of the fact that he lost a card game. That man's ego is the size of the planet. God damn it!
Dude creates a fucking space station to solve the Millennium Puzzle for him.
He does, basically. Just does it for him.
Dark Side of Dimensions is insane.
It is stupid as shit.
But it's so much fun.
It is. If you're wanting to go and win it drunk and not give a crap about it, it is insane anime fun. Yeah, man, I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say, man. The series went from kind of like, the series is what it is. It's like a forefather of kind of the crazy stuff we get. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's what other series wants to be. They want to have that level of marketing.
It was like the beginning of the anime, but
it was like, there during it. It was definitely
that came out. Yeah, that was like around during like the initial Pokemon series days. That was around during Naruto. That was when Adult Swim was really blowing up with its anime hours.
Yeah.
Because the manga came out in 1996 and the anime came out in 99.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That also doesn't count the season 0, which is closest to the manga, where Kaiba had green hair, and they had
Yami's a psychopath.
Well, yeah, they also had an extra. They actually had an extra character with them as well. She was a one-shot character who was there for like in the manga for. She was like interested love interest, and they decided, let's just make her part of the cast for a bit. And she didn't last long, and then they ditched her for the rest. What is considered the main canon of season 1. There's also the Red Eyes Black Dragon had its own little movie. That was like the first movie that came out of that, and that's about the kid who has the rare Red Eyes Black Dragon, and that's its own thing. Joey punches a lot of people in that movie. Because Joey, that's just what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Joey Chi, whatever you call him.
Rest in power, too.
Yeah. Rest in peace, sweet prince.